Hey guys, and welcome back to this new video on my channel. Today we'll be taking a look if we can get Europa FC, who are playing in the Gibraltar First League, to the top of European football, which means we're going to try to aim to win the Champions League. Next to that, I've also become the coach of the Gibraltar national team, and we'll be trying to take them also to the top of Europe. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the series. So a bad team also deserves a bad coach. We have started with actually no attributes, and over the seasons we can hopefully improve it a lot more. And this is the team. Let's take a look at our 4 best players. So we have Ojeda, who's quite alright as you can see. Jose Antonio Galan, who we actually have on loan from the Magpies, who are also a team in Gibraltar. Then Antonio Bello, a striker-ish player. I think he would not be too bad as a striker if you look at his finishing, dribbling and first touch. And then of course we have Cipri right here, who could also be okay. Other than that, it's very well rounded. They're not far apart, because if you look at the worst player is this striker, and he doesn't really have good technicals, but mentally and physically he's alright. So let's hope that we can get some players in before the season starts. While taking a look at the transfer budget, you can see that we do have some room in the transfer budget and in the wage budget, so we could bring a lot of good players in, and that's what we'll be doing, because currently we have 15 players, and I don't think 15 players is going to be enough to get us through this season. What is very weird about this league is that there's only 11 teams, and as you can see, it's been dominated by Lincoln in Gibraltar, but also Europa FC have won it a couple times. So we're going to try to make sure that we start winning it again. However, you don't play a lot of games in Gibraltar. If you go to schedule, you'll see that you're playing maximum of 3 a month if you don't count any European qualifyings. So it's going to be tough. The players won't get a lot of playing time, and I hope it might change once more teams get professional, but I doubt it. Anyway, this is the setup of the Gibraltar League, and we can't really change a lot about it. Before I'm going to sim to the end of the transfer window, we're first going to see what competitions we're playing in, because we're playing in the Gibraltar Football League, of course, where we're expected to come in top half. Well, I'm going to be aiming to try to win the league with this tactic. And of course the Europa Conference League, where we're playing in the league path first qualifying round, and I think that means that we're going to have to play a lot of qualifying rounds and to actually get through to them to really make it into the competition. I wouldn't expect it to do so. I would expect us to challenge for the title, so let's hope that we can do that with a couple of signings, and then I hope in 3 or 4 years we can qualify also for the Conference League. However, for now that's still far away. I will make some signings and come back to you at the end of the transfer window. While making transfers, we got the notification that we have been drawn against St. Patrick's Athletic. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm not sure if we can actually win this. It's 2 games against the Irish Premier Division side. They aren't very good, as you can see when we look at the players. They're kinda average, but so are our players. So let's see if we can actually do something here. If not, it's a shame, but we're still building up. So first season, we're playing St. Patrick's Athletics. Let's go. That's the end of the transfer window. And this is the best player that we've gotten into the club. Alain Pons, or Alan Pons, I guess you should say. This guy, very good mentally, very good technically as well for this team, and physically not the best, but he could still do very well. And then this is what the team looks like. If we go to tactics, you can see here we've gotten a lot more backup players, which is good. They will help us really be able to rotate, although we don't really play a lot of games, as I already showed you. Then in the competition, for now, we did do our best in the Conference League, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. We did beat St. Patrick's Athletic, 0-1 we lost, and then 4-1 we won, and then to Sofia SKA Sofia, which is a very big club from Bulgaria, we actually lost. So that's a shame. I'm now going to be simming to the end of the first season, and let's see how we actually did in that first season as Europa FC. The 23-24 season ended pretty okay, I would say, for Europa FC. We have finished in 3rd in the league, which is not bad. just missing out on second place Magpies. Then we went of course into the championship group and once again barely didn't make it to the second spot. But that is alright. Other than that, we didn't do very well in the cup either. I think the cup is called the Rock Cup. We got knocked out in the first game ever that we played. I think we lost against the Magpies as well, 1-0, which was very disappointing to see. Here it is. But unfortunately, we couldn't make it any further. Other than that, I did sign one very good player who is going to help us this season a whole lot. And that player is Soufiane El Fouti. We almost paid 140k for this guy. And he is really turning it on. He scored 7 goals in 13 apps when we brought him in January. He's doing very well for the team. Other than that, nothing really changed a lot in the team. We did bring in some very decent-ish players in Erin Barnett and Tyler Garat, which have been performing quite okay. Then our team is taking a bit more shape, so we're getting a lot more players in, which is good. We managed to keep a lot of our big players, and as for the Gibraltar national team, we once again didn't actually do that bad. We won against Lithuania 5-1 in the International League relegation playoffs, and then we drew Montenegro and Estonia, so I would say it's actually not that bad of a result. Anyway, what I'll be doing now is we're going to go into the second season with Europe FC. Sven Zitman 1.1k, so that's a lot of money, but 125k we paid for him, which is also a lot. But this guy is by far the best player in our team. Very versatile, can play almost anywhere, and he's the best signing that we made. And let's now jump into the second best signing, which is Antoine Petit, 33-year-old goalkeeper on a lot of wages. Brought him in for I think 7k. He's our best goalkeeper that we have, so the other two are going to be removed and we're not probably going to play them anymore. But this guy is a big upgrade in goal. Let's hope he can perform well as well. And then let's move on to our third biggest signing in this transfer window, which is going to be Roque Santa Cruz, 43-year-old. Look at his technicals, mentals and physicals. Great player overall. On a very expensive contract, I think our most expensive in the team. But this guy brought him in on a free. He's way better than any of the strikers we currently have. So let's hope that this guy can help us win a title this season. Anyway, that is how the team is looking. So as you can see, Sven Zitman is right in here as a ball playing defender. But I think once I select the main squad, you'll see that he moves to the midfield. Then also Petit is in and Santa Cruz on top. We still have Pons, El Fouti and Brima. Brima is also a new player, but Pons decided to stay. Very happy with this guy. 18th determination, very good. He almost can't walk, but as he is Gibraltarian, he also works towards the homegrown count. Anyway, that's it. This is the team that's going to do it. Let's jump forward to the end of season 2 and let me show you how we did. We have arrived at the end of season 2 and look at this league table. We have become champions in a very dramatic fashion. Take a look at this. Our last couple of games we only won after the championship group. You can see we also drew Lincoln and then we were 1 point ahead of them, but they still had to play. And look at how poorly they did here. We beat them in the Rock Cup final, so we also did win the Rock Cup, but then they drew against us and then they lost on the last day against the Magpies, which means that we maybe not totally deserved won the Gibraltar Football League this season, which is absolutely insane to already be doing that in the second season. Besides winning that, we also did pretty good in the Rock Cup, winning it actually. Beating, like I just showed you, Lincoln in the final, and on our way there also beating the Magpies, who are also a decent club nowadays. So doing very well. Then in the other competitions, of course, in the UEFA third round, we did win against Lugano, which was very impressive, but then we lost 1-6 against this Icelandic team, and I don't understand how we even lost 1-6. We then got back 4-2, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to go into the Conference League. However, since we have now been crowned champions, maybe we have a different path to the Conference League this time. So let me just quickly look that up. Alright, I couldn't really find it anywhere, but you start in the Champions League. Then if you don't make it in the qualifying path of the Champions League, you go to the Conference League. And if you just make it through, then you could potentially play in the Conference League itself. Of course, we didn't just do this on our own. We did bring in a lot more players in the January transfer window, and let me just show you what kind of players those guys were. As you can see, 4 signings. One of them isn't really relevant. Calvin Morgan is just a backup, but the other 3 are Sam Raksaki. Just brought him in on a free. Very good player, very good physicals. He's really doing his job on that midfield, and as you can see, 11 games, 2 assists. He's doing wonderfully for us. Then Jonathan van der Poel. Also a very good player. If you look at the history, 6 goals, 2 assists in 10 games. Couldn't ask anything else from him. Very good physicals, technicals and mentals for this level. And then last but not least, Antoine Carriou, a centre back from France. Very good overall stats as well. And these guys helped us get the title last season. But now next season we want to try to retain it and possibly make the Conference League. And for that, of course, we're going to need a lot more players. So let me just quickly show you with what kind of transfer budget we're working this season. 200k isn't a lot, and 2k in wages is also not a lot. But we do still need to get a lot of money in from playing in the Conference League or in the Champions League. So that will probably boost our transfer budget a lot. So let's hope that some of that money can get put back into the club. And then I also want to show you a couple other things that happened around the club. The first things are the facilities of the club. We did increase the junior coaching and the youth recruitment, which is very nice to see. I've also started getting my National C license, and I'm actually already asking for the next coaching course for the next season, so that would be great. And we've also got an extension on our contract, which is very good to see. In this series, we're of course also the manager of the Gibraltar national team, and I haven't really showed you a lot of it yet. However, we started at 195th position and we're currently at the 189th position, which is already very good. And at the end of this episode, I will show you how we did in the past 3 years as the Gibraltar head coach. Once we start winning a lot of competitions with Europe FC, then Gibraltar will become a better footballing nation. We can pump money into the league, and that way we can make the country a lot better as well. Hopefully in 10 to 20 years we'll break into the top 50 of the European countries, but we're just going to have to steadily get there to make Gibraltar an insane footballing nation. I'm going to make some signings, and in a blip you'll see signing number 1 that I made before the start of season 3. And that signing is Aitor Albizu. Brought him in for 75k. I think he's going to do wonders for us. Physically okay, mentally has everything that you need, and is just a midfield maestro. Next to him, we have also brought in 5 other players. And let's start with Ethan Britter right here. Brought him in on a free. A very good backup player to have. He's going to be a left back for us. Then we've also brought in Paul Apia, and look at this guy's physicals. He's a physical beast in the center of the defense, going to play very nicely for us. Then Jack Sargent as a backup, brought him in, just a very average Gibraltarian as well, so he does fulfill that homegrown status. Then Dylan Taylor, backup goalkeeper, very bad, but you just needed someone to fill in for whenever Petit wasn't playing. Sana Ufala, also brought him in, also as a centre back, and you can see why. 14 tackling, 14 work rate, great physical, so just a very nice player to have. And last but not least, I already showed you Aitor Albizu. Those are the players that we have brought in. This is a team that's going to help us retain the title in season 3, and also we are going to find out how good this team can perform in Europe this season. Can we get through to the Europa League or to the Conference League? We first have to play 4 league path matches before we can actually get there. So let's go ahead and sim right through to find out how we did in this 3rd season with Europe FC. The 3rd season has concluded, and as you can see, we went through in the first UEFA Champions League qualifying rounds. We then lost, so that meant that we were playing in the Europa League qualifying rounds. We then beat Trevana, I think from Slovakia. Yes, we did. And then we lost against Malmo in the Europa League playoffs, which meant that we actually could play in the Conference League. We did play a couple of games without a win, unfortunately. 3 draws against the same side that we knocked out, Sheriff Tiraspol and Hajduk, while also losing against Lokomotiv Plovdiv from Bulgaria, Slininski, which I don't even know, Bosnia apparently, and Brighton, which was expected. So, in Europe, didn't do that bad, because for playing in all of those rounds we got, I think, about 3.5 million, which was a lot of money that we could also use in January to sign some new players, and sign some new players we did. And with those new players we did manage to sign or to win the Gibraltar Football League once again. So that's twice in a row now. Season 2 and Season 3 looking very good, and let's hope that we can retain it. Of course, once again, very close, but I think with the European money that we got, we can definitely keep on top of the Gibraltar League. Then in the Rock Cup, we unfortunately lost this year against Lincoln, so we don't retain that. And in the Pepe Reyes Club, actually the cup which is the Super Cup, in Gibraltar we also lost 3-0. So unfortunately only one prize, but the most important one, the Gibraltar Football League. And with the money from Europe we did bring in some youngsters, and one of the youngsters is Robert Kabalitsa. We bought him for 23.5k, and this guy is already looking very good. Unfortunately temperamental, but this is the kind of players that we can sign now, so we are trying to target them. So Robert Cabanillas was one of them, and the other player who we signed to help us retain the title was Valentin Blanco, another wonder kid who we played as a central defender. Of course red arrows, but look how well rounded this guy already is, and he could still improve a lot. And then the third player who we brought in to help us retain the title was Loney Huth. Brought him in on a free in January. He scored 9 goals in 12 games. Just your average striker, what you want. The holy triangle of 14 dribbling, 12 finishing and 12 first touch is there, and this guy really helped us elevate to the next level. With everything that's going on, I've been slowly but surely trying to upgrade our junior coaching, our youth recruitment and our training facilities, and as you can see, it's bearing fruits. Good academic coaching already, above average youth recruitment and average training facilities, while before they were poor or basic. Other than that, I've also gotten a new contract until 2028, and I'm studying for the National A license, which will make our team perform better in the games. Also, I have added some staff, so as you can see here, we've got a little bit more coaching, a little bit more scouts, and a little bit more physios, which I'm going to be filling in this season. Then if we take a look at the county of Gibraltar, we are currently in 177th position, which means that since we started over and we were at the 202nd position, we've really gained a lot of experience and we've really done well. If we go ahead and we check the schedule, you'll see that we're winning some of these friendlies against Liechtenstein, Kazakhstan and San Marino, which is very impressive. Before that, we're also winning against Andorra here, and we're not even losing that bad to Bosnia-Herzegovina, Ireland or right here Poland, so we're not doing too bad. If we look in 2024, we even managed to win a game against Estonia here and draw them away from home, which is very good, which makes it so we didn't get placed last in that group, which was very impressive from the small country of Gibraltar so far. With that being said, that concludes this episode of the Club and Country with Europe FC and Gibraltar. In this episode we played the first 3 years, and in the coming episodes we'll play the next 3 or more years to see how we can progress through the leagues. If you want to see more of this type of content, don't forget to leave a like down below and to subscribe if you want to follow how we are going to make Gibraltar the best footballing nation in the world. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Club and Country, Europe FC and Gibraltar. Take care.